This audio is going to be on the two slit experiment again. It is April 18th, 2024 at 7:04 a.m. Check out my previous audio on my explanation or more detailed explanation on why gravity cannot be caused by magnetic fields, but can be caused by collective magnetism, as I explained in that audio, or clarify it. I've stated that in previous audios, but I clarified it in the previous audio. This one is on the two slit experiment. The two slit experiment should be remodeled. I think it would be best to do computer modeling, which I don't have the capacity to do. But someone should do a computer modeling on the two slit experiment with supposing that the air is filled with an ether of no momentum light particles, and that light is being transferred through that ether of no momentum light particles, so that when the light from the source hits the surface of the two slit experiment, it is being modeled as if it is traveling through an ether of no momentum light. So the energy from the light source is being transferred from one no momentum light particle to another, and that is going to affect the interference patterns as it tries to travel through the two holes. It will create resistance because of the way the energy is being transferred from one particle to the other as it tries to squeeze its way through the two slits in the paper or the medium, whatever you're trying to push those particles through, so that you're not assuming that they are just particles free flowing through those holes, but they're being there's resistance being created because there's an ether, and the light is being transferred from one no momentum light particle to another, and therefore creating a different type of flow for the light than would have been expected when the experiment was devised and since. So again, 7:04 a.m. Wade Allen Heineman, half mile north of Fairbank, Iowa, in the mobile home. This is for youtube.com/@IAM WADEHEINEMAN only. And my other YouTube is youtube.com/@WADEYES. My only social media is x.com/WADES2ND and x.com/WadeYesYes. Haven't used Facebook in the last 3 years. Never used TikTok in my life. So these are the only trusted sources in the last year or so. I did post some photos of the same photos that I posted on these accounts on an Instagram account. I haven't posted a photo even in months on that, so never used it to communicate. So these are the only trusted sources as usual. But the two slit experiment should be computer modeled so that the light source is pushing its photons through an ether of no momentum, packed in no momentum light particles, so that when it hits the surface of the two slits, whether it's paper or whatever you're using to create the two holes, it's creating a resistance as it tries to flow through, because because the energy is traveling through an ether where it was assumed before it was not. In my theory that there are no momentum light particles filling all areas around centers of mass, such as galaxies, stars, planets, and saturating the air in our atmosphere and within our bodies as well. These no momentum light particles saturate everything that they can, and then transfer light from there, and that's why it's scattered sometimes in the way that it is. I believe that the computer modeling may solve the way we look at the two-slit experiment. Wade Allen Heinemann, 7:04 a.m., April 18th, 2024. The no momentum, the two-slit experiment is something that has perplexed physicists for decades and decades and decades and decades. I don't remember exactly when it was devised, if it was 100 years ago or not, but it's perplexed physicists for a long time. Perhaps if we look at it through an ether, as my theory proposes, that it will shed new light on the two-slit experiment. Wade Allen Heinemann, 52 years old, green eyes, not blue, 10.7-inch hands. I don't have a computer modeling thing, so I can't do it that way. I can just imagine how it would the interference patterns would develop. So 52 years old, green eyes, not blue, 10.7-inch hands, 6'1", 73 inches, white male, heterosexual, born 11/4/71, circumcised 1971, no changes since then, only ever interested in natural adult females, not had any sexual or physical contact 6+ years. No friendship since 2016 due to the state of my life being suppressed and people telling lies and being tortured. What else? Never been a smoker, never been a pot smoker, never been married, never been in the military, not ridden a motorcycle since 1996, never driven a semi. And if I have a daughter out there or multiple daughters, it's been indicated I possibly have 2 daughters now. I love you, and I will always be proud of you, and I hope you understand I mean that, regardless of whatever you've done. But you have to be my biological daughter, and there are a lot of people faking the connections to me, that claim to be my family that I have no connection to. My parents are never, they don't have an online presence. My mother hasn't used Facebook in 3 to 4 years, she said, and my father's never been on a computer, never used the internet or texted. My father does not do that. He's 83 years old. My mother's 82. Lois and Jerry at the Red and White Barn Home, they do not have an online presence. So anybody pretending to be my family, I want them jailed, prisoned for 10 to 20 years. They're a dangerous society. The only people I've had any connection to in the last 5+ years are my parents. So Wade Allen Heinemann, half-mile north of Fairbank, Iowa, and V68 in the mobile home, April 18th, 2024, 7:04 a.m. Just proposing that someone do a computer modeling on the two-slit experiment using ether with packed in, no momentum light particles from the light source, transferring that, and they would be on both sides of the paper or the whatever you're using for the two slits. They would be on both sides of the paper, the packed in ether, no momentum light particles that have lost their energy and are floating around in a liquid, basically. They have the properties of a gas, liquid, whatever you want to envision them as. They're just light particles packed in and floating around, basically. That is the ether as I've proposed it. Signing off, April 18th, 7:04 a.m. Wade Allen Heinemann, still half-mile north Fairbank, Iowa, in the mobile home.